let's start in Seattle, where the Seattle Seahawks took down the Los Angeles Rams to make their way to the Super Bowl. Jay, what was the main cause for the Seahawks beating the Los Angeles Rams in that game?
Actually, McVay got out coached, but once again, we have a game that more people are talking about the reffing than the actual game. And actually, I don't even blame the refs. I think they were completely wrong, but I blame the NFL. I don't think Cooper Kupp made the first down. Fine, whatever. Plays get called. That was close. If they were off, I'm not blaming the refs. I'm blaming the NFL that this is even a story. All you had to do was go after replay. It's whatever the call is. I don't even care if you kept it the same. All you had to do was say you did an you did a review.
Extradited review.
Yeah, right. Expedited review. And nobody's having this conversation, and it takes away from a really good game that we all watched. And once again, the NFL figured out how to make it about something accidentally that it shouldn't be about. And that irritates me because we absolutely watched an exciting game to watch.
Yeah.
I think that oddly McVay got out coached. I think that was very strange to see. But hats off to the Seahawks. It was a great fucking game. I enjoyed watching it. And again, I turned on the TV the next day and I thought we were going to hear about Sam Darnold. I thought I was going to hear about Tom McDonald. I thought I was going to hear about Jackson Smith and Jigba, who will get to some awards, but if he doesn't win one, he's definitely up there for me, but I won't spoil it yet. And I was going to talk about, McVay, is Stafford going to come back? This kind of thing. And no, I turned on the TV and they're like, did you see that reffing call? And I'm like, yeah, I think they got it wrong too. But that doesn't mean that I blame the refs as I do usually for this one. I blame the NFL for just not. And then them telling Sean McVay you can't challenge it, I thought was crazy, but that's really weird.
Yeah, with they said they can't challenge it because they've already done the work on it and they haven't decided to change it anyway, right? They're
telling him he can't challenge it because he called a timeout, but we've seen it in previous times where you call a timeout, you challenge it, and then you lose a second timeout. And they told him he couldn't challenge it. And this is where I'm saying it's not the refs, it's the NFL. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah. And I think with that point, it's what we were talking about with the refs the last time a little bit, where it's like, yes, the refs should take blame for getting calls wrong, but the NFL refuses to use technology, refuses to actually coach the refs, refuses to write ref-friendly policy that the rules are the rules of the game and this is what happens. There's so much interpretation in a lot of the rules. So we were talking about it with the interception, no interception in the Broncos game in the previous round, and it was just all left into interpretation. But here we've been saying it for ages. Why are we measuring where the hell the ball is placed by old men on the sideline with some chains looking down the field as to where it goes? We have the technology. There's other sports in the world that use technology that tracks the ball and where it goes. So football uses goal line technology. It would be the same tech. It would probably slow something down a little bit. They would probably need to move where the line is. It probably takes a little bit, but just put another advert in there. No one will know. You take commercial timeouts for ads. Okay. Then we can slow down a game as much as we want to get the call right? So that's all they needed to do, and they just refused to do it. So that's a shame. But I don't think it should take away from the game. I think the media get hot on the refereeing calls, and fans get hot on refereeing calls. But the NFL needs to fix that. The media need to not get so hung up on the fact that the Seahawks also got a call against them, which wasn't a bad call. It's just that Reek Woolen turning on the sideline rule, the punishment. I don't mind the rule and I don't mind the call. The call was correct, but the punishment the rule itself seems to the punishment doesn't fit the crime almost of a bit of taunting is a 15-yard penalty.
He absolutely has to do. I agree with you, but he absolutely has to know better. He absolutely has to know better. And this is the NFC Championship game. What are you doing? No, I agree with you. But for me, it was a great game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great game. McVay got out coached, and I don't want to say like the Seahawks didn't win that game or whatever. It almost felt like the Rams ran out of time, right? Like it kind of felt like the game, if it was a little bit longer, I felt like, ooh, the Rams might have been a difference in there, because I think it made McVay make some bad calls, like the time up against the time. And I just never left a game questioning McVay the way I did. And it's not, I am not shitting on McVay, one of the greatest. It's just like, I was like, damn, that wasn't the most Sean McVay things I've ever seen.
Yeah. And I think with Sean McVay getting out coached, we're going to talk about Mike McDonald. I don't want to give away one of my awards already, but we're going to talk about him later in the show. But he was amazing on the defensive side of the ball too, even though like they gave up, 27 points. Like what they actually did in that game was they stepped up in those big plays. They stepped up straight away. Congratulations to making it to the Super Bowl, Josh. Good for you, man. But with the Seahawks on the defensive side of the ball, I thought they were excellent. I thought they were really great. And I think the way that they use Nico Manwari and they play him in so many different positions, like he looks like Kyle Hamilton. Like they use him in the same way the Ravens use Kyle Hamilton on the pitch as well, and they just move him around. Like they always look they always look great defensively as they're going forward. As well. And I think the other reason that they won that game, the Seahawks, is as an all-round football team in terms of not making mistakes, the Seahawks have been better all season. Like I've seen lots of stuff about Seahawks Patriots, one of the least deserving Super Bowls of all time. Like, and it's like, you just don't know the Seahawks have been playing great football all season because they play in the Pacific Northwest. And like you just hate the Patriots because you hate the Patriots from their previous dynasty. But the Seahawks throughout the whole season have just played completely mistake-free football. And Jay, one of the biggest turning points in that game was something that has bitten the Rams over and over again. It was that special teams turnover. They were about to get the ball back in a period where they seemed to have the Seattle Seahawks defensive number. They probably were going to go ahead if they got that ball back. They had the chance to go ahead in the game. And instead, they go in giving up a touchdown there, which then made Sean McVay have to play from behind. And then that's when I agree with you, his calls were a little suspect as well. So, Jake, surely the Rams have to be to blame for having shit special teams all year. Like, if you're all round, like, it's a third of the team, your special teams.
Yeah, and it's one of the problems I watch with the Vikings. Like, your special teams coordinator needs to go, and why are we still keeping them, and why are we not making changes? And when you have somebody, or when you have a side of the ball, well, there's three sides, but okay, you have a side of the ball that's causing problems, and you don't do anything to address it because it's not the offense or defense, is a problem to me, and that becomes a coaching issue. And I'm not saying you had to fire everybody, but you as the head coach need to go in there and be like, we got to fix this. And if you as the head coach have to go, we're doing this, this, and this, then that's what you have to do. But it feels like sometimes not enough focus is put on special teams when special teams can make or break the game because of field position, and you can give up big plays and scores. And like, I just don't understand why not enough emphasis is put on special teams sometimes.
And I think you saw it in the game, right? Because the Seahawks punter, I think it's Dickerson, had a great game. He was amazing. The Seahawks punter changed field position several times. He's had one of the highest net average punts all season. And then on the Rams side of the ball, they're getting a turn. Like, it's not the first time in the season where they've had terrible special teams. So it's an all-round team game. I think that's why they lost. And then from that point, you know, they have an 11-point lead going into. They would have an 11-point lead going into the fourth quarter if it wasn't for that Reek Woolen incident on the sideline, as well. And the Rams are playing from behind in that game, and I think the defense really bowed in the fourth quarter, which is great. Jay, moving over to Sam Darnold, has he silenced his doubters now? Like, he must have. He's the first from that 2018 class to get to the Super Bowl. Right?
Sam Darnold goes in the Super Bowl and throws 3 interceptions. Everybody's going to say, I told you. I told you. So, like, no. But if he wins it, yes, or has a good game. I mean, he throws for 300 yards in the Super Bowl and no turnovers, they have to shut up, right? But no, you know how the talking heads are. No, he didn't silence anybody because half of those motherfuckers are just waiting for him to throw 2 interceptions in that game, lose it, and be like, I told you he can't play. So do I think it should calm it? Yes. But do I think it didn't? No, because fan stands for fanatic, which means we are always at some point going to be ridiculous when it comes to what we're seeing in the NFL.
Yeah, I was looking back at some of our old takes, Jay, and I was looking back at my Mike McCarthy take when he first came to the Cowboys and what I'm currently saying about Mike McCarthy now. What I'm currently saying about Mike McCarthy now. I think, Jay, it is testament to us that we don't just have an opinion and that is our opinion and we're trying to force our opinion into every single thing in the conversation, which is what you see a lot of the time with these talking heads. Is what you see a lot of the time with these talking heads and obviously with Patriots fans currently as well. But what you see with these talking heads is they have an opinion and then they're going to try and find a way to make their opinion work rather than just saying, okay, my opinion was wrong and moving over. And I think Sam Darnold, obviously, if he throws like 3 interceptions in the Super Bowl, like maybe it does deserve to come back up. But it wasn't just like he was getting carried in this game. That's the thing that people would have leveled at him if he throughout the other games in the playoffs, where it was like he didn't play well. It was the team that got them there. He was amazing in this game. Like Sam Darnold threw for 370 yards. He was their best player on the field.
I think the narrative all year has been he can't do it in the big games, right? Like he fumbles under pressure. So if he folds in the Super Bowl, that's just going to give them the ammo they need to like peacock, right? And be like, look, my take was so brilliant that Sam Darnold, like, and instead of just accepting that every game is a different game, you know what I mean? You got to judge it over totality and not just one play or one game, one series. But again, we're fans, and then they all get caught up, and I do too, especially when I'm watching the Vikings live. If you guys were in our group chat, it's the end of the world after the first fucking series for me in the group chat. That's it. That's the fucking game. They blew it already. Like, I overreact too. I get it when you're a fan. It's why I'll never bet on the Vikings. Like, financially, I will never put money because I don't feel like I think clearly enough when it comes to it. But I just think that, you know, people always want to be right. And now, granted, they get paid and got a way bigger platform, but people like us, we take swings on what we believe. And when you get in the batter's box and you take a swing, you are going to strike out at times, and motherfuckers just have to own it. And if you look at the guys who are great at this, Skip Bayless, who I can't stand, but nobody can argue how great he was on sports television for a long time. Colin Cowherd, even Nick Wright, who I don't like, they get in the batter's box and make the ridiculous swings and whiff all the time, but they never have to be held accountable because Colin Cowherd especially will be like, yeah, I fucked up, move on. And he'll act like it never happened. He'll admit he was wrong, act like it never happened, and keep it moving.
He'll admit he was wrong. But then if something shows he's slightly right again, he'll say, oh, yeah, I thought that the whole time. Like, right. If someone says, like, he's slightly right again, you know, he doesn't actually come off it.
Dan Orlovsky takes it on the shins. But he says the shit he truly believes as of viewing it from a quarterback point of view, and you don't have to agree with him, but he's also the guy that gets on Pat McAfee and goes, holy fuck, was I wrong on that one?
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, Sam Darnold has come out and scored, the Seahawks offense has scored 41 points against the San Francisco 49ers and then 31 points against the Rams in an NFC Championship game. So, like, you know, he can't hold it together in big games. Like I do get it. And after what we saw, like with that kind of meltdown with the Vikings last year a little bit as well, it's like, okay, like this is all fair. This is all fair play. But for me, he's proving them wrong. And I think Colin Cowherd was a big Sam Darnold fan coming out of USC, like the whole time. Like he loved Sam Darnold, like coming out of USC. So now he's back on the thing as well. Like he's been saying it the whole time as well. Jay, Sam Darnold is the first quarterback from that 2018 class. So Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, was Baker Mayfield in that 2018 class as well. but he's the first one out of that class to make the Super Bowl as well. And I know like it matters what team you're on, but I do think that holds some weight. Like he comes out in such a great quarterback class, and he's now the first to make the Super Bowl out of those guys as well. Like I feel like that does do something for his pedigree, and like saying, okay, he can actually fucking play quarterback. Can we stop telling ghost jokes about Sam Darnold? You know, I'm not saying he's better than Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, that was about to be my question. Like, are we putting him above Josh Allen and Lamar? I was just asking.
Yeah.
No, the ghost jokes can never stop because you got caught on a hot mic saying it. I've said really it before. Funny. I don't blame him for talking to his teammates the way he did. You just happen to get caught on a hot mic, which now you will have to own forever. Like, if you get caught on a hot mic and you say something wild, that's on you.
Yeah, and I think with I think with it, at least it's actually funny as well. Like, I want to see him like coming out and making fun of it, you know, like that would be the next level of Sam Darnold.
Well, anybody who says that he didn't play as a top 5 quarterback this year is delusional.
Yeah, exactly. Like, exactly. I thought
is he a top 5 quarterback overall? We don't know yet. Did he play like it this year? Absolutely.
Yeah, I thought Sam Darnold has had a good year. Jay, we kind of saw like loads of point scoring happening in the third quarter. Both teams scored 14 points apiece in the third quarter. It all came down to the fourth quarter where nobody scored any points whatsoever. Jay, what led to that shutout for like both teams? What happened there in the big moment to win the game? Both teams get shut out. What happened there? Hold
on. Rewind. I was laughing at Josh. What did you say? I tried to catch back up, but I missed the beginning. And
I was saying that there's loads of points scored in the third quarter. It was a very 31-27, great game. And then in the fourth quarter, when it's on the line, both teams shut each other out. What kind of led to that big shutout in the big moment there? How did the Seahawks come out on top and slow the Rams down?
So the Seahawks defense stepped up. Oddly, again, I just feel like McVay ran out of time because McVay made some weird calls in the middle of that game. But the reason I think that it stalled on the Seahawks side is I think they got real conservative, real quick at the end of that game. And I think it almost cost them. And I think that's something they'll learn if they get put in this position in the Super Bowl, that you can't let up, because McVay was good. I mean, McVay was doing everything he could with his team to try to win that game, right? And there was times where you were like, could this happen? It kept you around, right? Because there was the idea that maybe this could happen. And I think they really got conservative, and I think it almost became a problem. But again, young coach will learn from this, and I think they'll put their foot on the gas next time instead of trying to get conservative and just play the clock game. I think they started playing the clock game way too early.
Yeah, I also think the Rams defensive line kind of bowed up. Like Sam Darnold was getting less and less and less time. was getting less and less time to throw the ball as well. I agree. They went super defenses, and you're right, Jay. If Sean McVay hadn't used his 3 timeouts already, when Puka Nacua makes that play in the middle of the field, you're like, if you have 2 timeouts, because he called that ball at about 20 seconds left, so 2 timeouts from the middle of the field would have given them something, would have given the Rams like something to play with there, because, you know, Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams are one of the greatest receiving pairs that have ever been put together in football. Like, that's just 2 ridiculously good wide receivers, and Matthew Stafford's arm is crazy, so they could do anything from midfield with 2 timeouts, really. So there's that play calling mistake from Sean McVay in terms of the timeouts. Also, the Rams made big mistakes in the last moment. You know, the Rams made big mistakes in the final moment. So Kobe Parkinson drops that catch. That would have.
Oh my gosh! I forgot about that till you said it. Yeah. Oh my gosh!
Yeah, total walk-in touchdown that he could have had. Should have been straight in for the touchdown, and then Sam Darnold has to go down the field and get the win. And then they also made the mistake on the, it's like fourth and 3, and Actually, the Seahawks make an amazing play because they look like they're about to bring pressure, and Kyron Williams leaks out into the backfield, and then a guy smartly, I can't remember who it was, smartly stops his pressure and then moves out to go get Kyron Williams, which is like, that's just genius whilst on the play. Like, that was not what he was meant to do. He was meant to bring pressure, but he clearly stopped and then went and covered that, which meant that Stafford has to throw over the middle, and Witherspoon breaks it up on a huge play as well. So the Seahawks make good plays, but the Rams made some mistakes as well. So yeah, and Jay, Seahawks obviously progressing through to the Super Bowl. The Rams now dumped out, but do we think the Rams can make a run next season as well? Like, I can't see why not, as long as Matthew Stafford doesn't retire, right?
I've been reading that they don't know if Stafford's going to come back. He's going to want to redo his contract. They're not going to want to pay him more. Are they going to let him walk or trade him? I think he comes back and they run it back again. And this is just all, we got nothing to talk about week. But it all comes down to what's going on with Stafford. But yeah, and we've seen from that front office, they can reload with fuck them picks, or they can reload with give me those picks, I'm going back into the draft, right? So
Yeah, right.
We've seen this front office maneuver whichever way they feel is the best to get to where they need to get. It is a lot of talk, though, this last year that Sean McVay is not going to coach forever and that he is going to retire pretty young. And if that's going to happen, maybe you do go into another fuck them picks and let's go try to get another one while we have Stafford and Adams and Puka and McVay and then worry about the rest after that.
I wonder if they do need to go into like fuck them picks territory, because as long as Stafford is playing, then you have McVay still as the coach, you still have Stafford, you have Puka for another year, you have Devontae Adams for another year. Actually, they've got a sneaky 2-horse backfield now there with Kyron Williams and Blake Corum. Like, I thought Blake Corum made some huge plays this year as well. So you can see that maybe a bit of improvement on the O-line just for a bit more consistency game to game. But where they really need to fix is that cornerback room. They're too small at corner. Like, they have skilled corners who cover well. They're too small. So they need some bigger corners. And
Myles Garrett just let it be known he is not fucking happy with the new head coaching pick for the Browns, and we'll probably talk about that. But can you get him? Can you just say fuck them picks and go get you a Myles Garrett? Because Myles Garrett kind of makes up for any deficiencies you have on the back end, because he's going to be in that quarterback space, and you put him on that line with what they already got with Verse, and might be nasty. I don't know. Maybe you can get him out of Cleveland.
Yeah, Verse, Myles Garrett, and Brandon Fisk all in the same, all on the same defensive line. That's disgusting. But so they can go, and I don't know how many picks it would take to get out of there. That Myles Garrett contract, I'm sure, is making a lot of teams very wary about going in and getting.
I get that, but if you're playing fuck them picks, you can play fuck that cap and roll that thing
cap as well,
and roll it till it can't be rolled anymore. You know what I mean? I was actually thinking that.
I was about to say the same thing.
Literally thinking that. Let's get some Aaron Donald back. I was literally thinking, how long has he been out of the NFL now?
It's like 3 years, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So the Seahawks move on in that one on to the Super Bowl. I think the Rams are probably going to be one of the best teams in the NFL next year as well.